Hey guys, this is Mr. H. Hey, I wanted to do just a bunch of quadratic formula questions. I want to show you guys how you should attack these questions, especially if you're not sure what kind of, if you should be using b squared minus 4ac or the entire formula. So I'm just going to do a bunch of examples and then hopefully you guys have a better idea. All right, so I've got this 6z squared minus 24z plus 16 equals a negative 3z squared. So I know I got to move this 3z over. So I'm going to go ahead and store that into a. I'm going to do it all in one step. So that's going to be 6 plus 3. And I'm going to store that into the letter a. Boom, done. The b is going to be a negative 24. I'm going to store that into b. That's done. And then I'm going to take 16 and I'm going to store that into c. And now I'm just going to put in the quadratic formula. Control divide is going to be a negative b plus or minus. I just have to do it one at a time. This would be b squared minus 4a times c divided by 2a. Now, I'm going to press enter. Now, I get a fraction, so I'm good. I don't have to change anything. I can just go here and I can enter that. So that's going to be 4 over 3. And then I'm going to look for an additional solution. So I'm just going to copy this and I'm going to change the plus to a minus to get the other 0. And it's also 4 over 3. So there's only one of them. So let's see, remove solution. Actually, let me go here. Didn't need, oops, remove solution. All right, so that's my answer. Submit it. And it says, nice job. All right, so let me get the calculator back so I can keep going. That was kind of unique to have only 1 0, but that's what we got. All right, the next one, same thing. I've got another quadratic. I'm going to do it all in one step. So the a is 1, so I'm going to store that into a. The b is going to be a negative 7 plus 2, so I'm going to do that all in one step. A negative 7 plus 2, and I'm going to store that into b. Boom, done. And then the C is going to be 3. So I store 3 into the letter C. Boom. And then all I'm going to do is go copy the formula and see what we get. Press enter. Now I get a bunch of decimals and you see there's nowhere over here where it tells me to round. So that means they don't want decimals. So I'm just going to go and I'm going to look at the b squared minus 4ac part. So I'm going to be b squared minus 4a times c. All right. And then I press enter. And you can see that that is 13. So I can just write my answer because I know 13 is a prime number, so I can't simplify that radical. So I'm just going to go here and I'm going to do, what was it? B was a negative 5. So that's going to be a negative times a negative is going to be positive plus or minus the square root of the b squared minus a4ac part. And then it's going to be 2 times 1 on the bottom. So I go here and I say 2, and that's good. All right, let's go. Next one. This one. Same thing. I'm just going to take the A and leading coefficient and store it into A. I'm going to take the linear term and I'm going to store that into B. And then I am going to take negative 4 and I'm going to store that into C. And just like I did before, I'm just going to go up here and I'm just going to copy the quadratic formula. Again, I get a decimal. There's nowhere over here where it tells me to round. So that means I just need to focus on the determinant of the b squared minus 4ac part. When I press enter, I got 57. That's also a prime number. So all I have to do is come here and just type in my answer. So this is going to be a negative 3 because the b term is 3 plus or minus the square root of 57, which is the b squared minus 4ac part. And then at the bottom is going to be 2 times 3, which is 6. So that should be it. And that is correct. All right, let's go. Let's go. Next one. The leading coefficient is 1. So I store that into A. My next one is going to be 10. I'm going to store that into B. And then I'm going to take the 18, the constant, and I'm going to store that into C. Boom, done. And then again, I'm going to come up here and I'm just going to copy the quadratic formula. I get a decimal, it doesn't tell me how to round it. So again, I need to focus on the b squared minus 4ac part. And it's 28. So now if I do menu 23, I can go up and take the 28 and let's see how we can simplify this. So these twos, the pair of twos can come out. So my simplified answer, let's go. I'm going to come here, a bit of fraction, let's see. The b is 10, so this is going to be a negative 10, right? So I'm going to write it the way it would be without simplifying anything. So this would be 2 times the square root of 7. And then down here, it would be, what would it be? It would be 2 times 1, which would just be 2. Now, that is the answer. I've simplified the radical, but I haven't simplified the fraction because the 2, the 10, and the negative 10 and the 2, I can always simplify that. I can take a 2 out. So let's do that. So I'm going to come here. Let's go all the way back. I'm going to delete this because I don't need that. And then I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to delete this 2, and then I'm going to divide 10 by 2, and I get 5. So this is the simplified radical and fraction. And it says, yes, that is correct. All right, I'm going to do a couple more. Now, this one says to the nearest 10. So all I'm going to do is take the A, B, and C. I'm going to put the quadratic formula in, and then I'm just going to round it to the nearest 10th, which is going to be 1 decimal place. So the A is 3, so let's do that real quick. The B is a negative 13, so I'm going to do that. And to the B, and then the C is 5, so I store that into C, and boom, done. Now all I'm going to do is go take the quadratic formula. Where is it? Right there. That's the -1. Press it. Now I got to round this to the nearest 10th, so I go to the 4, look to the right. That's 4 below, let all that stuff go. So my answer is going to be 0.4. 0.4. And then I know, or I think I'm going to have another solution. So all I got to do now is copy, and then I go here and change the minus to a plus to get the other, change the minus to a plus to get the other 0. And it's going to be 3.9. So I come here and I type in wrong place. 3.9. Come on, Greg. 3.9, submit it. And it says, nice job. All right, I'm going to do one more. So get rid of this stuff. All right, so the A is 1. So store that in the leading coefficient is 1. Store that in the A. The linear coefficient is 11. I'm going to store that into B. And then I'm going to take a negative 17, and I'm going to store that into C. And again, I'm going to be rounding this, so I'm just going to go straight to the quadratic formula, and I'm going to go boom, and my first one is going to be 1.4. So that's going to be my answer for the first one, 1.4. And then I'm going to have another one. So now I'm just going to go get the -1. Right here, press enter again, and now it's going to be a negative 12.4. So I put in a negative 12.4, 2.4, submit it. Nice job. All right, so I did about 8 minutes. I did, how many? I did 6 questions in 8 minutes. So basically, once you get your A, B, and C, put it into the quadratic formula. If you get a decimal and it doesn't say rounding, then you need to focus on the b squared minus 4ac part. Make sure you simplify that radical. But if you do get a decimal and it tells you how to round it, just round it, then you're done. So you always start by using the quadratic formula. If you get an irrational number, if you get a decimal, and if it doesn't tell you how to round it, if it doesn't tell you to the nearest 10th or the nearest 100th or whatever, then you've got to use the b squared minus 4ac part. And whatever that number is, you have to simplify it, if it can be simplified. And then once you do that, you just simplify the fraction and you're done. All right, I'm going to stop this and I'm going to post it. And I hope that this has been helpful. I know I went kind of quick, but I'm hoping that you guys are with me now. All right, bye.